So logistics are taken care. We are starting with chapter 5, Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. And we are in text number 11. So this chapter 4, before we get started, is talking about Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. If you remember, the chapter 3 title was also titled Karma Yoga. This Karma Yoga is slightly different. Here, the message is from Krishna in this chapter is how you can dovetail your karma and connect to Supreme in yoga. Yoga means to connect. Yoga means like a plus. So that's being discussed. So if we quickly read through this 10th slokas, it'd be nice. If you all want, you can read one text each, just translation. So I'll start with text 1. Arjuna said, "O Krishna, first of all, you ask me to renounce work. Then you again recommend work with devotion. Now will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?" So that's the question. Krishna said in this chapter 4 that renounce the work. And then in the chapter 3 he said work in devotion. Now the Arjuna is confused. Which one is better? So who wants to read this one? Let's read each one two sloka, it will finish. So one person read two slokas translation.
I can read.
Yes, Mataji.
The simplicity of the Godhead replied, the renunciation of the work, and the work is devotional. In devotion are both good and a good liberalization. But of the two, work in the a devotional service is better than renunciation of work. One who neither hates or desires the fruits of his activity is known to be always renounced. Such a person free from all duties easily overcomes material bondage and is completely liberated. O mighty armed Arjuna.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So next 4 and 5, who wants to read? We have only two people, Kamini, Mataji, and Ramchand. So please announce which one of you want to read.
Yeah, I can read. Yeah.
Yes, Ramchand.
Yeah.
Can't hear you.
Yeah, you can read and we can hear then.
Yeah, my screen. Okay. Yeah, now I got it. Only the ignorant speak of devotional service as being different from analytical study of the material world, Sankhya. Those who are actually learned say that he who applies himself well to one of these paths achieve the result of both. Should I read like all?
No, fifth one, yeah, this one.
Yeah. One who knows that the position reached by means of analytical study can also be attained by devotional service, and who therefore sees analytical study and the devotional service to be on the same level, sees things as they are.
Thank you. Yes, Kamini, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes. Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy. But a thoughtful person engaged in devotional services can achieve the supreme without delay. One who works in devotion who is pure and pure soul and who controls his mind and senses is dear to everyone and everyone is dear to him, though always working such a man is never entangled. A person in the divine consciousness, although engaged in seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, eating, moving out, sleeping, and breathing, always knows within himself that he actually does nothing at all. Because while speaking, executing, receiving, or opening the and closing eyes, he always knows that only the material senses are engaged with their objects and that he is aloof from them. One, one who performs his duty without attachment, surrendering the result unto the Supreme Lord, is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by the water, untouched by water.
Thank you,
As
Mataji.
11th, we will start
So,
today. 11th will start today.
yeah, 11 months. Yes. So, so far, if you see, we read that it's very preliminary that what is the, how does you see both things, whether it's karma yoga or Sankhya yoga. Sankhya yoga or karma yoga, there are two things. One is an analytical study of the world or just thinking about it. Other is acting, which is karma, like you act, but then how you act in Krishna consciousness. So Krishna is explaining by one that you can work in devotion, but you don't take the result, then you are not affected by the outcome or resultant actions. So the moment we take the results, we are affected by the actions, right? The moment you partake in anything, you are implicated in that process, right? That's very practical in our life also. The moment we take anything in the world, then we are part of it, right? So that's a purpose here. And now we'll go next 11th. Before that, I'll say some prayers. Om Timirandhasya Jnananjan Salakaya Chicharopurmilitam Mena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yen Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mayam Dadati Swapdantikam Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Vitapatakalam Sri Guru Vaishnavansha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagarlaltam Tam Tam Sajivam Shadvaitam Shavadutam Parijana Sahitam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sri Lalita Sri Vishakhantansha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुवस्य च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। Yes, so we are starting with 11th now. I'll read the first one, then all of you can read the subsequent. Kayena manasa buddhya
कायेन मनसा बुद्ध्या
केवलैर इन्द्रियार अपि
केवलेन्द्रि इन्द्रियारपि
योगिना कर्म कुर्वन्ति
योगिना कर्म कुर्वन्ति
संगम त्यक्त्वात्मशुद्धये।
सन्दं त्यक्त्वा प्रसुद्धये।
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A. Shri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The yogis, abandoning attachment, act with body, mind, intelligence, and even with senses, only for the purpose of purification. Purport. When one acts in Krishna consciousness for satisfaction of senses of Krishna, any action, whether of the body, mind, intelligence, or even the senses, is purified of material contamination. There are so many reactions resultant from the activities of a Krishna conscious persons. Therefore, purified activities, which are generally called sadachar, can be easily performed by acting in Krishna consciousness. Sri Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.187 described this as follows. Iha yasher hare radashe karamana manasha gira nikhila shwapi avastastu jivana muktasya chaut muktah sauchyate. A person acting in Krishna consciousness, or in other words, in service of Krishna, with his mind, body, and intelligence and word, is a liberated person, even within the material world, although he may be engaged in many so-called material activities. He has no false ego, for he does not believe that he is this material body or that he possesses the body. He knows that he is not this body and that this body does not belong to him. He himself belongs to Krishna and the body too belongs to Krishna. When he applies everything produced of the body, mind, intelligence, and word, life, wealth, etc., whatever he may have within his possession, to Krishna's service, is at once dovetailed with Krishna. He is one with Krishna and is devoid of the false ego that leads one to believe that he is the body, etc. This is the perfect stage of Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna. So, what is taught here? You see, same concept that you may be the yogi. Yogi means, as I said, there is a yoga ladder, and there are different stages of yoga. So, in any stage, whether you're karma yogi, dhyana yogi, jnana yogi, ashtanga yogi, then you can, how do you should act? Abandoning attachment. This is the biggest problem we have, is called attachment. So we have to abandon it, and we have to learn this art of abandoning attachment. That's the teaching of Bhagavad Gita. That how you can abandon. You see, when we started this Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was also attached to his family, attached to his so many things he described in the first chapter. There's a whole story how he was attached to everything, and he was so much attached that he don't wanted to fight. He wanted Duryodhan come and kill him, and he will not protest. He wanted to retire to forest. All that because of attachment. And then because there was so much attachment, he was not able to act with body or mind or intelligence or even the senses. He was not able. His situation was he was not able to even stand, and he was such a big warrior. Arjuna was one of the topmost warrior in the world, but because of attachment, he was not able to even stand and hold the Gandiva bow in his hand. So powerful. Even we have experienced this in our life, that when we are so much attached to something in life, it seems like our body doesn't have energy. Like, because suppose if you are attached to something and you lose it, or you feel like you're going to lose it, as if the whole energy of the body gone. It's like, oh, I don't have any energy now. Even if you're just sad, why you are sad? Because you're going to lose something, or potentially you may lose in future. That's what Arjuna had, that, oh, if I fight this war, I'll kill people. I'll lose my relatives, parents, and not parents, but relatives. And even they were enemy. They were ready to kill him. But he don't wanted to fight. Though his duty was to fight. It's like, if there is India-Pakistan war, and you are a soldier, you go, you go into battlefield in Kashmir or Kargil, fight. And then moment you're standing with your bow in your gun, and you're like, oh, I don't want to pull the trigger. I don't want to shoot it. Then somebody will shoot you. There is no point of talk, because it's a war. In war, there is no conversation. It's just killing or killed. So it was foolish. Like, you prepared everything, go for the Mahabharata war in mid of battlefield. You're saying, sorry, I want to go to forest. And you are the chief, you can say captain of the whole army. What will happen to millions of people behind you? If the whole army run away, what will happen to whole country? Crores of people, right? In India. So you won't appreciate that, oh, this person was trying to become non-violent and therefore he ran away from the battlefield. No. You'll say you are coward. You're just coward. Why did you take this job if you don't want to do it? You should have thought about it. You can't go back now. Same thing, Arjuna. So Krishna is saying very clear thing, attachment. And same thing you can apply to so many things in our life. Suppose if you decide to do something, first of all, we should be thoughtful that whether I really want it. And if you decide I want it, then you should be ready to pay any price, because that's how you achieve things. If you in midway, no, I don't want, and then you don't get it anyways, because then everything has a price to pay, right? And especially if you want something bigger, like you're trying to build a company or trying to do anything in life or education, you have to sacrifice so many things, right? We sacrifice things, inconvenience. If you're running a family or something, a job, we sacrifice our sleep, we sacrifice our time, we sacrifice our energy, right? So we do that, but we have to do same thing without attachment. That's the only thing. Results, the way we do is to offer everything to Krishna. Oh Krishna, you gave me this, let me give it back to you, and I will just take bare minimum to what is required for my maintenance. Okay, so that's the message we are learning, and we'll continue learning here. We'll go to text 12. Let's read text 12. Who wants to read? Hetalwant ji. Okay. Yeah.
युक्ता कर्मफल त्याक्त्वा सात शान्ति मा प्रोति निष्ठ निष्ठकिमा अयुक्त कामक्रोध कामकारणे फले संको निबाध्यते. The steadily devoted soul attains under unalterated peace because he offers the result of all the activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled. The difference between a person in Krishna consciousness and a person in bodily consciousness is that the former is attached to Krishna, whereas the latter is attached to the result of his activity. The person who is attached to Krishna and works for him only is certainly a liberated person, and he has no anxiety over the result of his work. In Bhagavatam, the cause of the anxiety over the result of an activity is explained as being one functioning in the concept of dualities. And that is, without knowledge of the absolute truth, Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, the personality of Godhead. In Krishna consciousness, there is no duality. All that exists is the product of Krishna's energy, and Krishna is all good. Therefore, activities in Krishna consciousness are on absolute plane. They are transcendental and have no material effect. One is therefore filled with peace in Krishna consciousness. But one who is engaged in profit calculation for sense gratification cannot have that peace. That is the secret of Krishna consciousness. Realization that there is no existence beside Krishna is a platform of peace and fearlessness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So this is being explained here. Just now you read. Yuktam karma phalam tyaktva santim apnoti naistikim ayukta kam karena phale sakto nibaddhite. The distilled devoted soul attain unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me, whereas the person who is not in union with divine, who is greedy for the fruit of labor, becomes entangled. Right? It's a being contrasted comparison that how does a person who is connected to the supreme works and how does a person who is connected to the body works. So here is the key. How do we know that when we are working on the bodily platform? Actually, most of time we work on the bodily platform. Why? Because here is the test. When our mind thinks dual way, suppose if you want to go to a place A to B. Suppose if you are in Delhi, you want to go to Mumbai. Now, if you want to go, you are planning to go. Now, your mind will think, should I go or should I not go? Okay, first thing. Now, what will happen if I go? Do I gain something? Do I lose something? So many calculation will start happening immediately, right? Just a thought of going from place A to place B. And there is always a fear. There is a sense of some kind of fear, how, where I will live, what I will do, who will. So many questions will come because what I'm thinking, oh, if I'm going from Delhi to Mumbai, what is my purpose? Why I'm going? What I will get out of it? Is people are going to be nice to me? How, where I will live? What I will eat? Because I'm thinking about body, and I'm thinking by going to Mumbai, what I will get out of it. That is okay, of course. Even spiritualists think, oh, what I will do, what I. But here the main point is, oh, if I don't get, then what will happen? This is the fear. I wanted to get something, but I'm not getting by going to Mumbai. What will happen? So I have a fear. Why I have a fear? Because I'm thinking, if I don't get my result, then I will not able to enjoy or to act in a way the way I wanted, right? By going to Mumbai. So I'm just thinking, calculating everything. Now, how does the Krishna conscious person will think? He or she will also plan. Okay, I have to go to Mumbai. Now, where I will live, what I will do, what is my activity, and then comes to results. That's the main. That's fear of result is the main cause of anxiety. Actually, if we see the whole anxiety we have in our head is because fear of the result. What if not this? What if not this? What if not, if that happens? Like either positive or negative, both way we are feared of result. So the person will think, now if you offer the results, then whatever will happen, okay, Krishna desire, I will just act as my duty. I will be vigilant to be find a place to live, book my ticket in advance, arrange my all the meetings. I will act as required. But whether profit or loss is not my concern. For example, if you work for a company and you are going on a business tour, company arrange for everything. Now you have to just act. Whether the meeting outcome is positive or negative, if you work perfectly as per the protocol and policy of the company, you are not impacted because you just acted, and you are not feared also because results you're not thinking. You're just thinking doing your job. Result, whether positive and negative, sometime positive, sometime negative, it will happen, right? So if we starting, but there we have an employer, we know because it's our company, it's my manager, it's my boss, I know this person, right? So you are working for an organization or person, so you become fearless because of course there is a fear of job loss. What if there is no profit? Where I'll get my salary? Because it's a world like that, right? But the fear is less. But if you have your own business, you have more fear because you're going for your business. What if the deal doesn't work? What happened to next month? Your business will run or not run? Bigger fear. But as an employee, you don't fear. You get your salary. Whether there is a growth or loss, you get same salary. It's not that if the company makes $1 million, then you'll get more money. No, your fixed salary is fixed. So if the same way, if we start thinking in our life, oh, Krishna gave me this intelligence, life, family, everything. I'm working for Krishna. Now he will take care of everything. Let me just do my duty as a parent, as a husband, as a brother, as the son, as the even employee of a company. Whatever will happen, Krishna is in control. Krishna will take care. God will take care. If you come into that divine consciousness, that's Krishna consciousness, then your fear reduce because you're just not thinking about calculation. You're thinking, oh, I have the best person as my boss, which is Krishna. He will never cheat me. And in fact, he will provide me. So why I should worry? I should just do my job. That's called that's called karma yoga. When you connect your karma, your activity, your action to the Krishna, right? That's a connection. Your karma means not just doing things. Karma everybody does, but connection is called yoga. So that's the difference. When you connect that to Krishna, right? Not connect that to the body or family or my own. No, for me, for supplying for me, I will get my salary. Krishna will take care, just like my employer will take care of me. You don't worry about your food when you go to a business trip. Your company will arrange for your hotel, food, flight, everything arranged. So, so you just worry about how I will present myself, how I will talk in a meeting, right? Same way, if you start acting in Krishna consciousness, you worry how you will be acting, not that how the meeting will happen, where I will live, where I'll get food. All is taken care, right? That's what the difference when you act in Krishna consciousness. Okay. So we'll go to the next one, 13. Hare Krishna. Who wants to read? Nagarani Mataji, you want to read? 9th?
Prabhuji,
Uh,
I just got into the bus. Just give me
okay.
a
Okay,
minute.
Ramchand Prabhu can read then. Ramchandji to read.
Yeah. सर्वकर्माणि मनसा संन्यासते सुखं वसि नवद्वारे पुरदेहि नैव कुर्वान् न करयान्. Translation: when the embodied living beings control his nature and mentally renounces all actions, he resides happily in the city of nine gates, material body, neither working nor causing work to be done. Purport: the embodied soul lives in the city of nine gates. Active, the activities of the body or the figurative city of body are conducted automatically by its particular modes of nature. The soul, although subjecting himself to the condition of body, can beyond those conditions if he so desires. Owing only to forgetfulness of his superior nature, he identifies with material body and therefore suffers. By Krishna consciousness, he can revive his real position and thus come out of his embodiment. Therefore, when one takes to Krishna consciousness, one to once become completely aloof from the bodily activities. In such a controlled life, in which his deliberations are changed, his life happily within the city of nine gates. The nine gates are mentioned as follows: Navadvare Puradehi Hamsa Lelyato Bahi Vasi Sarvasya Lokasya Stadhavarasya Karasya Sa. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is living within the body of living entity, is the controller of all the living entities all over the universe. The body consists of nine gates: two eyes, two nostrils, two ears, one mouth, the anus, and the genitals. The living entity in his conditioned stage identifies himself with the body, but when he identifies himself with the Lord within himself, he becomes just as free as the Lord, even while in the body. Sveta, Svetaswatara, Svetaswatara Upanishad 3.18. Therefore, a Krishna conscious person is free from both the outer and the inner activities of material body.
Hare Krishna. So thank you. This is new concept like city of nine gates. So this body in Svetastar Upanishad is considered as city of nine gate. So what are the nine gates? Two eyes, two nostrils, one mouth, two ears, and two evacuating organs. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? So actually, it is like a city. The daily activities this body perform, we don't have to endure for that much, right? Like for example, when you feel hungry, you eat. When you're breathing, you're not enduring, so we're automatically breathing. Watching, of course, you have to open your eyes, but you can just watch. It automatically records things. You hear automatically. You evacuating, whether urinating or going for washroom, it's natural. You don't endure for too much. It comes on time daily and many times in a day. So these activities of the body, we don't do much actually. We just do it. It's like so automatic, right? I mean, until I read Bhagavad Gita, I never imagined. I thought I'm doing everything, but actually I'm not doing anything. It just happens. Actually, if you stop doing it, then it's a problem. But if you just follow the natural clock, it's nice, right? And many times we don't do it. So then a kidney problem, stomach problem, or eat too much, sleep too much, so many. But otherwise, if we just follow the natural circadian rhythm or clock of the body, which is designed by the owner of this body, it works. It works very nicely. It rest, it sleeps, relax, right? So we live in this city of nine gates, which is our body, and in our heart, one of the compartment in this body, your soul is there. You, I mean, you are there. Your body and your soul, in you are there. Your soul means soul. Soul doesn't have a further soul. So, and then in next to it, the soul, the super soul is there. The super soul, who is the controller of the whole universe and also sitting in our heart, is not bound by this body. The super soul doesn't think, oh, I'm this body. But we think we are this body. That's why even there is a pain, we suffer. We feel intense pain in our mind, in our mind. But if you disconnect your mind from your body like a coma, even if you cut the body, the coma person will not feel anything because there is no connection with the brain or mind, active brain. So if you remember, we understood from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 that this body is made up of 8 components, the 5 gross and 3 subtle. The 5 gross are earth, air, water, ether, fire, and the subtle are mind, intelligence, and ego. So they are there, mind, which you cannot see it. You cannot see my mind. You can see my brain, but definitely you cannot see my mind, what I'm thinking. You cannot see my intelligence, how I'm distinguishing one from other. And you definitely cannot see my super ego. My ego you will see when I'm angry or I'm very, then my ego will speak. Then when I'm bewildered, like, I don't know what to say, what not to say. Then I'll speak my ego. I will not listen to my intelligence. My ego will, but ultimately, ego is dictating everything. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is this body, which you see is 5 gross element and then subtle element, mind, intelligence, ego, doesn't impact your soul, you, because if it does impact, then we feel pain. But actually, if you see, if you have, I don't know if you experienced or not, but you try to experience in future, think of this. When you're in intense misery or pain, in any time in your life, if you go back, if you watch out, just meditate for a moment and watch out what is going on here. There will be something in you which will not feel all those pains. There is something higher than your pain and pleasure and all. If you just watch out, just become a little more conscious of what is going around in my body and around me, then you will invoke your soul, and your soul doesn't get affected, because you remember in chapter 2 of Bhagavad Gita we read, soul cannot be moistened, cannot be killed, it is eternal, saswatam, puranam, it's old, it cannot be impacted. That's what Krishna tells Arjuna. You cannot kill anyone actually, because you can kill the body, you cannot kill the soul. It cannot be done, you can't even touch it. So these bodily activities are duality, pain, pleasure, happiness, distress. The soul is not impacted. And if you consciously watch out when you are in that situation of pain, pleasure, you will see you will not, your soul is like watching out, just watching out. It's not touching anything. And your mind is enjoying, you are feeling happy, nice, okay. But the satisfaction of soul is different. Okay. You can experience this when you experience little higher nature. Something like if you go to temple, you don't start laughing like in your friend circle. You don't, like you go to a party, you have a nice party, nice music, you dance, you laugh and all that. But when you come back home, you're like just thinking, what did I do? Is I'm really happy? When you question this, you find, oh, it was all just so off. Just showing off. I'm feeling happy. I'm nice. I like it, dislike it. But when you deeper introspect deeper, you find, oh no, inside. I'm not happy. My inner self, my inner being is not happy. I don't like this. But I'm just doing it. Just my habit. I just do it. But when you go to a spiritual place like a temple, you have a nice kirtan or something, you listen to music, you feel connect. Oh, I really like this. It's just satisfying me so much. All of you, we must have this experience, at least some through something, not maybe just music or going to a temple, going to a spiritual place, or just being with a spiritual environment or listening, isn't it? Did you ever experience this? What I'm trying to describe you?
Yes.
What about others? Ramchand, Nagrani Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes, that glimpse we get, like for a fraction of moment, or 1 minute or 10 seconds. But you can have that glimpse continuous if we do that spiritual practice. In any situation in life, you will feel constantly the same thing. You will not get affected by what's going on here in the world. You just be happy. That is real inner happiness. People say, no, inner happiness, inner peace. That is the peace of this when you start experiencing your soul. And the only way you experience your soul is by recognizing that you are a soul and there is a super soul in you. Prabhupada gives a very nice example. Suppose if you want to see yourself, then you need a sun, right? Or you need a light, right? Suppose if I switch off my light, I cannot see myself, right? Because there is no light, I cannot see, right? But moment I switch on the light, I can see myself and also the light, both together. Because the presence of light, I can see myself. But if there is no light or sun, you cannot see yourself, right? So Prabhupada tells we are not able to see our soul because we don't see super soul. We don't even recognize there is anything out there. It's like if there is no sun, where you can see yourself? Forget about it. It's all dark night, deep pitch dark night. But moment the sunlight comes, you can first see sunlight, and then you can see yourself also in a mirror or in a water or in your car dashboard or wherever you're sitting. Like you can see in your chair, in your laptop or camera. You need a light. If you switch on the light, switch on your camera, and the camera will not show you anything. The moment you switch on a light, on a flash on yourself, you can see the light, see yourself. The same thing. When we recognize super soul, that there is super soul in me, oh, then you can see your soul, because then you start experiencing, because there is a connection. Okay. So try to recognize these little things. So this body is a city of nine gates, and we are supposed to recognize it, understand it as Krishna is teaching. 14th, who wants to read this one?
Can I, Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji, you can read two of them. So we'll read two, and then we'll discuss.
Okay, Prabhuji. न कर्तव्यं न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभुः न कर्मफलसमायोग्यं स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. The embodied spirit, master of the city of his body, does not create activities, nor does he induce people to act, nor does he create the fruits of action. All this is enacted by the modes of material nature. Perfect. The living entity, as will be explained in the second chapter, is one of the energies of natures of the Supreme Lord, but it is distinct from matter, which is another nature called inferior of the Lord. Somehow, the superior nature, the living entity, has been in contact with material nature since time immemorial. The temporary body or material dwelling place which he abstains is the cause of varieties of activities and their resultant reactions. Living in such a conditional atmosphere, one suffers the results of the activities of the body by identifying himself in ignorance with the body. It is ignorance acquired from time immemorial that is the cause of bodily suffering and distress. As soon as the living entity becomes aloof from the activities of the body, he becomes free from the reactions as well. As long as he is in the city of the body, he appears to be master of it. But actually, he is neither its proprietor nor controller of its actions and reactions. He is simply in the midst of the material ocean, struggling for existence. The waves of the ocean are tossing him, and he has no control over them. His best solution is to get out of the water by transcendental Krishna consciousness. That alone will save him from all turmoil. Nadatte, nadatte kasyasit papam nakaiva nachaiva suktam vibhu ajnane agnane navratam mukhanti jantava. Nor does the Supreme Lord assumes anyone sinful or pious activities. Embodied beings, however, are bewildered because of the ignorance which covers their real knowledge purport. The Sanskrit word Vibhu means the Supreme Lord who is full of unlimited knowledge, riches, strength, fame, beauty, and renunciation. He is always satisfied in himself, undisturbed by sinful or pious activities. He does not create a particular situation for any living entity, but the living entity, bewildered by ignorance, desires to be put into certain conditions of life, and thereby his chain of actions and reaction begins. A living entity is by superior nature full of knowledge. Nevertheless, he is prone to be influenced by ignorance due to his limited power. The Lord is omnipotent, but the living entity is not. The Lord is Vibhu or omniscient, but the living entity is Anu or atomic. Because he is a living soul, he has the capacity to decide by his free will. Such desire is fulfilled only by the omnipotent Lord. And so, when the living entity is bewildered in his desires, the Lord allows him to fulfill those desires, but the Lord is never responsible for the actions and reactions of the particular situation which may be desired. Being in a bewildered condition, therefore, the embodied soul identifies himself with the circumstantial material body and become subjected to the temporary misery and happiness of life. The Lord is the constant companion of the living entity as Paramatma or the super soul, and therefore we can understand the desires of the individual soul. As one can smell the fragrance of a flower by being near it. Desire is a subtle form of conditioning for the living entity. The Lord fulfills his desire as he deserves. Man proposes, God disposes. The individual is not therefore omnipotent in fulfilling his desires. The Lord, however, can fulfill all desires, and the Lord, being neutral to everyone, does not interfere with the desires of the minute independent living entities. However, when one desires Krishna, the Lord takes special care and encourages one to desire in such a way that one can attain to him and be eternally happy. The Vedic hymns therefore declare Isahu ivasadu karma karyatitam yamam ibhyo lokebhya unmisate isayum ivasadu karma karyatiyam adoninisate. The Lord engages the living entity in pious activities so that he may be elevated. The Lord engages him in impious activities so that he may go to hell. Kaustukati Upanishad 3.8. Similarly, the Mahabharata Vanaparva 31.27 states, Agno Jantur Anisyoyam Atma Nasutadutahom Ishvara Prityato Gacheti Swaragyam Vasu Abhamyavacha. The living entity is completely dependent in his distress and happiness. By the will of the Supreme, he can go to heaven or hell, as a cloud is driven by the air. Therefore, the embodied soul, by his immemorial desire to avoid Krishna consciousness, causes his own bewilderment. Consequently, although he is constituently eternal, blissful, and cognizant, due to the littleness of his existence, he forgets his constitutional position of service to the Lord and is thus entrapped by nescience. And under the spell of ignorance, the living entity claims that the Lord is responsible for his conditional existence. The Vedanta Sutras 2.1.34 also confirms that Vaishamya Nairgramye Nasaptak Nasaptake Satvat Tatihi Darsayati. The Lord neither hates nor likes anyone. So he appears to. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Kamini Mataji can read.
ज्ञानेन तु तद्गानम् ईशां नाशितमात्मनः तेषामादित्यवं ज्ञानं प्रकाशयति तत्परम्. When, however, one is enlightened with the knowledge by which nations is destroyed, then his knowledge reveals everything as the sunlight lights up everything in the daytime. Those who have forgotten Krishna must certainly be bewildered, but those who are in Krishna consciousness are one bewildered at not bewildered at all. It is stated that in the Bhagavad Gita, ज्ञानं प्लावेन जनानिनः सर्वा कर्माणि and na hi jnanam sadarsam palvena. Sadarsam, knowledge is always highly esteemed. And what is that knowledge? Perfect knowledge is achieved when one surrender onto Krishna, as he said in the 7th chapter 19th verse. बहूनां जनानाम् अन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रदापते. After passing through many births, when one perfect in knowledge surrenders onto Krishna, or when one attains Krishna consciousness, then everything is revealed to him as everything is revealed by the sun in the daytime. And living entity is bewildered in so many ways. For instance, when we unceremoniously think himself God, he actually falls on into the last snare of nations. If a living entity is God, then how can he become bewildered by the nations? Does God become bewildered by the nations? If so, then nations or Satan is greater Satan is greater than God. Real knowledge can be obtained from a person who is in perfect Krishna consciousness. Therefore, one has to seek out such a bona fide spiritual master and under him learn that Krishna consciousness is for Krishna consciousness will certainly drive away all nations as the sun drives away darkness. Even though a person may be in full knowledge that he is not this body but is transcendental to all body, to the body, he still may not be able to discriminate between the soul and the super soul. However, he can he can know everything well if he cares to take shelter of the perfect bona fide Krishna conscious spiritual power. One can know God and one's relationship with the God only when one actually meets a representative of God. A representative of God never claims that he is God, although he is paid all the respect ordinarily paid to God because he has knowledge of God. One has to learn the distinction between the God and the living entities. The Lord Krishna therefore stated in the second chapter 212 that every living being is individual and that the Lord also is individual. They were also individuals in the past, they were individuals at the present, and they will be continue to be individual in the future, even after liberation. After liberation, at night we see everything as one in the darkness, but in day, when the sun is up, we see everything in the real identity. Identity with individuality in spiritual life is real knowledge. Tadbaddatstya tad atmanas tananishthas tat pra tatparayana गच्छन्त्य अपुनर अवितम जन ज्ञान निर्धूत कल्मषा. The one, the one's intelligent mind, faith and refuge all the fixed in the supreme. Then one becomes fully cleansed of misgiving through complete knowledge and thus proceeds straight on the path of liberation. Purport. The supreme transcendental truth is Lord Krishna. The whole Bhagavad Gita centers around the declaration that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. That is the version of all Vedic literature. Paratattva means the supreme reality, who is understood by the knower of the supreme as a Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagwan or supreme personality of Godhead is the last word of the word in the absolute. There is nothing more than that. The Lord says, Mata Paramatma Nanyata Kinchid Asti Dhyana Yajna. Impersonal Brahman is also supported by the Krishna. Brahmano hi pratisthanam. Therefore, in all, always Krishna is the supreme reality. One, those mind, intelligent, faith, and refuge are always Krishna. Or, in other words, one who is fully Krishna consciousness is undoubtedly washed clean of all misgiving and the perfect knowledge in everything concerning transcendency. A Krishna consciousness person can thoroughly understand that there is duality, simultaneous identity, and individuality in Krishna, and equipped with such transcendental knowledge. One can make steady progress in the path of liberation.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Jai Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we are on, I think, close to time.
Meaning, please
Sorry.
explain something for this.
Oh, that one. This one. The So let's go. And we read a couple of it. So I'll take 5 minutes here. So we read from here we were there. City of Nine Gate. So 14th we read embodied spirit, master of the city, does not create activity, nor does he induce people to act, nor does. So who is the master of the city? So we are living in the city, we are resident, right? But the master of the city is Super Soul, Paramatma. So he does not create activity or induce people like we to act in this body. Nor does he create fruit of action. All is enacted by mode of material nature. Just like I explained, everything we do in our body is automatically happens. Even desires and thoughts, we don't even force it. Desire comes, the mind thinks something, hundreds of thoughts comes continuously, right? So we don't even endeavor or try for it. It automatically coming. And Krishna Prabhupada explained there That just like how does super soul talk to the soul? It is talking like if you have a rose flower, rose. Just by if the rose flower is kept in a box, just by smelling the fragrance, you can know this is a rose, right? Just by you can know the nature of the thing by the fragrance. Likewise, explained that super soul knows the desires of the soul by just is in the same heart, no, sitting next to it. It can smell the desires. We all have desires, but we you cannot describe how you chemically describe a desire. No, it's you can't. It's a metaphysical. Desire is metaphysical. Taste is metaphysical. Feelings are metaphysical. You cannot physically detect it. It manifests. It manifests physically. You know, when you are angry, you cannot describe what is composition of your anger, but you can describe the effect of anger. Your eyes are red hot. You're angry. Your mood, your body, face, activities, trembling in body, right? So these metaphysical things, super soul can detect because it is metaphysical. The super soul is metaphysical, and the soul desiring is also metaphysical. So they can talk to each other. Now, in next one, sometimes people claim, "Oh, Bhagwan told me to do this." No, the super soul does not assume anyone's sinful or pious activities. No, it just sanctions the desire. Just like you're a parent, very nice example. You have a kid, you have a parent. The kid, you know that there is a fire and kid is trying to touch, and the parents will stop it. Okay, no, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. But the kid is so stubborn, so naughty, don't want to stop it. Then you will say, okay, because you are so stubborn, you're not listening to me, I sanction. Okay, go do it. And the moment the kid will touch the fire, you will learn, no, I should not touch it. So likewise, now you can say, why does parents allow it? Because parents knew if I don't allow it, he or she will do anyways. So let him do in front of me, so that I can save, I can protect when it doesn't go crazy, right? So likewise, when we desire, whether good or bad desire, Krishna as a super soul sanctions it. Sanctions it. And so it's neutral. It's not like, you stop it. Why? Because there is element of free will. If there is a love, there should be a free will. Otherwise, it's a control. In control, there can't be any love, right? So there should be free will, and that's why Krishna sanctions it, right? So same example I explained. In daytime, the sun will show up everything. So when you are in knowledge, it's said knowledge is like a sun, a torchlight of knowledge. Then your whole misunderstanding is destroyed. This whole misery in life, as I explained, we have because we don't identify that we are this spirit soul and there is a super soul in us. We don't recognize it. We always recognize I am this body, I am the owner of this city of nine gate, and I should enjoy this world through this body. This is our concept. But moment you switch it, you say no, I'm living in this body. I am the spirit soul. My nature is Satchit and Ananda, eternal, blissful, and knowledge. I am part and partial of the super soul. I have relation with the super soul, and everyone is the part of the super soul created by him. Then this whole misery, all confusion, all anxiety, anger, fear, all over, right? So that's the text number 17 described. When you once intelligence, mind, and faith, this is good. Okay, you can have your intelligence, I am Krishna, believe in Krishna, mind, okay, you have faith also, but they refuse that you should become surrendered. Like when you go for a business trip, you are surrendered to your company. Your company books your hotel, you surrendered yourself. So you take refuge of Krishna. Likewise, same way, then you are not disturbed. You know that it will be taken care automatically. Why should I worry, right? And then you're cleansed of all misgiving. You're not thinking, you're not confused, and they go straight. Just like you, if you believe in your company, you straight go to the conference room. You don't think, oh, what will happen to my room? Who will book my flight? Everything is arranged. Same way, if you believe in Krishna and you take refuge, not just belief, because belief may change. You have to take refuge, means you become surrendered and you work for Krishna, then you straight go path to the liberation, right? So that's next one is very powerful sloka. We'll read next week. The how you should see. Now the next question is, okay, even if I have a faith, I believe, I take refuge, then how should I see this world? Right? Because I'm this body, I'm part of this body, I have to deal with the world, then how should I do it? So that's next week discussion. That how should you act now? After having this knowledge is good, but then how do you apply this knowledge? That's the question. Everybody has knowledge. Oh, there is a God. Oh, okay. There is a God. I should act nicely. Okay, fine. But then how you apply? Because practical application of knowledge is called science. If you have a knowledge, but if you apply practically, then it becomes science. It becomes real practical experience when you apply knowledge into action, right? So that's the discussion next week. Thank you. Any questions, comments? Now Bhagavad Gita is getting a little intense now because now Krishna is getting into real action. Like, so this is Karma Yoga, and now you next one be Dhyana Yoga, and then Dhyana Yoga you will learn all about yoga, different yoga and all. Krishna will explain. So this is Karma Yoga, action, and then meditation. First you act, then meditate, right? People meditate on phone, on TV, on so many things. First you do your job, and then evening you come and meditate on phone or TV, and then you sleep in the dream. You dream everything while you meditate whole day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in sleeping we are meditating, Prabhuji.
No, that's wandering. That is not meditation. That's wandering. That's external meditation. That is real wandering. Without any hindrance, nobody can check you. Like what
Yes,
you're wandering in dreams. I'm in Switzerland, or I'm in Ireland. I have a snakes around me, or I'm falling
yes.
from that wall. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I hope you got some message. At least learn that this body is sitting of 9 gates, and
Yes.
in this city you are living, and super soul is living, and just know that relationship and act in that sense. So it will reveal. The Bhagavad Gita is very powerful knowledge book. I don't know where people find religion in Gita. Actually, there is no discussion on religion. It's all pure practical knowledge. But still, people are, oh no, it's a religion. I don't know where you find religion. Really don't. I don't find any word religion. Actually, there is no word religion in the Vedic knowledge. It's all dharma. Dharma means duty. It's a matter
Yes.
of discussion on duty. What should you do? How you should do? But still, people ignorant. That's called ignorance because they don't have knowledge. If you ask them, "Oh, read Bhagavad Gita," no, I don't have time. Okay, then why you comment something if
No,
you don't
one
have
more thing.
time?
Why you want to read in this age? At this age, is it
So then,
necessary?
yeah, that's what. Wait, I don't know, but just wait for few more years. People are going crazy. Mental health is like crushing them like anything. I'm telling you. People are not happy. They know it. They try everything. They're not happy. And they come back. It has happened. Now you see, I'll tell you example, nice. Ayurveda. People are coming back. Every time all allopathy, now they know it will hit me hard. Same thing with
Yes.
yoga. People come back to yoga now. They believe in yoga. Even the atheist, they know that if you do meditation, exercise, simple diet, vegetarian diet, vegan diet, nice. People are
Sir,
realizing,
it is
vegetarian
very
food is
difficult. It is very difficult, sir. Doing meditation and all, no, it's very difficult. We are
no,
doing
but
with. Yeah, it is very
yeah,
difficult. If
I
we are sitting for
know.
15 minutes like that in even, then so many comes in
No,
our
but
mind.
atheist people who don't believe in God, they believe in
Yes,
meditation and
I
yoga.
read this book also, and
Oh
I was
yeah.
doing so.
Yeah.
Even then, that is
Biography of
different type of.
yogi.
Yes, I am reading Bhagavatam also. but it is very difficult. It is very difficult.
Yeah,
Yes,
Krishna.
yes,
Mataji, Kriya Yoga, I did meditated when I was in US.
sir,
It
I
was
read.
like
I am reading
continuous
this
thing,
book
like one.
also.
Oh,
Even then,
wow.
Okay.
yeah,
Nice.
even
Thank
then,
you.
I am not able to understand every. I am reading this book also. So,
Yeah, that's
so,
nice.
uh,
The only
so,
meditation in this age you can do is
sir,
chant Hare
you
Krishna.
explain us how you do meditation for all these things.
I
So
do
we can
meditation.
we can. You are our teacher, no? So you tell us how to do. How
I
to
do
do.
Hare Krishna chanting every day morning 2 hour. 2 hours.
What
That you
time?
can do.
What time you
Morning.
do?
I do from 5:30 to 7:30 or 8. Like that's my meditation time
Hare
morning.
Rama, Hare Krishna, on
Hare
mind and something
Krishna.
like this.
Yes. Actually, I was thinking every session at the end we can do 10-minute, 5-minute chanting. It's very nice. Like you experience that together, like 10 minute. So then you get that glimpse. That's the only
Yes.
meditation everybody can do because it's an active meditation. It's not like you close your eyes and mind. No, you open your eyes and open your mind and listen to the sound. That is called active meditation. But the world out there, they talk about passive meditation, which is like, but how long you can hold your breath? Maybe 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then your mind is like, oh, this breathing helps because it cools your body, it cools you down. Krishna will explain. In next chapter, Krishna is gonna talk about, and then Arjun will say, "I'm sorry, Krishna, I can't do it. I'm a business. I'm a person who will take care of household activities and fighting. I don't have time for meditation." And then Krishna will say, "Oh, I agree. Controlling the mind is very hard." And Arjuna will say, "I can control the wind. Even the wind you cannot control." Arjun say, "I can control the wind, but I cannot control the mind. It's so hard to control the mind." So then Krishna will say, "Engage your mind in me." And that's how you control it. You cannot control, you can engage, you can transfer it, right? Nobody talks about it. All these yoga is cheating. They're just cheating. Okay, there is some benefit, but ultimately it doesn't benefit. Ultimately, you will run away after 6 months, and they'll take your money, and you are like, okay, I'm cheated now. I'm not. Every religion. Then you start announcing every religion is bad. Oh, everyone is bad. All yogis, all these people are just cheaters, right? So, but anyways, so thank you for joining, and maybe next time we'll have our last 5-10 minutes. We'll do chanting, one round chanting with the sound, and I'm sure you'll like it. So then I'll train you. Then you can do in your morning if you are in a daily like 10 minutes. If you don't do it, so I know some of you already do it, but some of you can do it. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji's, Prabhuji's. I'm glad
Thank
to you joined.
you.
All goes to Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Gita
Jai.
ki jai.
Jai.
Pran वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण
Shri Krishna
चैतन्य प्रभु
Chaitanya Prabhu
नित्यानंद श्री
Nityananda
अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा
Hare
हरे
Krishna,
कृष्णा
Hare
कृष्णा
Krishna,
कृष्णा
Krishna
हरे
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare,
राम
Hare
राम
Ram,
राम
Ram
हरे
Ram,
हरे।
Hare Hare.
Thank you so much. Have a good day
Thank you
or
so
good
You
much.
night,
too, Prabhuji.
good weekend.
Thank you.
Bye. Hare Krishna.
Bye-bye.